YouTube, Ace here.
And Moogle.
And today we've decided to have a look at the brand new release, or the announcement of the brand new console by Nintendo, known as used to be known as the Nintendo NX, but it's now the Nintendo Switch.
Believe us, it's going to be a hard thing to not call it NX this whole time, so.
Yeah, it is. Anyways, though, but so apparently, though, a lot of the rumors that we heard way back when were apparently true. Now, we didn't really go over the rumors here, but...
yeah, just because we were too busy on Battlefield 1, but that's fine.
Yeah. But, for example, some of the stuff we've got, apparently it is definitely going to be both a handheld and a console at the same time. Yeah, Moogle, why don't you...
Okay, so... Earlier, about 10 o'clock this morning, Eastern Time, they went up and they showed off this video. And you had, it started off with a guy playing Zelda, and his dog decided it needed to go out for a walk. So he goes over to where the console is, and it looks very thin, almost looks like a set of books. He then takes the controller he's got, pulls two pieces off of it, puts it on the side, picks the whole thing up, and it immediately switches from his TV to this little screen, and he is now playing his game as a portable instead of as a full console, but it's still the full console game. So, I mean, I can already see a lot of good ideas from this, but we'll go ahead and go on.
Yeah, I also heard, it also showed that the controller itself actually disassembles. In fact, you can break it up into two separate controllers, separate from the screen, for multiplayer or for wireless gaming. So the screen, you set up the screen.
Yeah, again, they had the guy decide to go onto a plane. He puts the thing down. It's got a little stand that comes out of the back of the screen, and he pulls the little controllers off and also plugs in a set of headphones. And now it looks like he should be playing with two Wii remotes, but he's actually got a full controller still in his hands. He just now has the screen attached, and it's wirelessly talking to the screen to tell it what to do.
It'll be interesting to see how that works.
And then, even as he was saying, they had them doing multiplayer where it's someone sets the screen up, and then one person takes that controller, turns it sideways, and now he's playing with a full joystick and 4 buttons and plus shoulder buttons. So
yeah, we've looked at the video and looked at a few screenshots, and it does seem like it does actually have 4 triggers, 2 on each side. So an L1, L2, R2, and R1. So yeah, it does have all that. Something else that we should mention: it does look like not every game is going to allow you to have 2-player support with just one screen, because the way the controllers, of course, because of the limitations of the way that the controller is. But you can play stuff like Mario Kart on there. Yeah, 2 players and one screen.
Yeah, I don't think you'd want to try for 4 players on one screen on that, because that might get a little ridiculous, or a little small.
That and the limitations of how many buttons it has on to begin with kind of limits it down.
Yeah.
Anyways. But there are some interesting games that's already been announced for it. Of course, Splatoon is going to be on there. It does look like it's going to be a different version.
Yeah, it looks like they've updated things so that way you can actually change the way your Inkling's hair is. Because usually it was just default boy, default girl. Now it's like default boy with cowlick going this way, default girl with an extra strand of tentacle going this way, and things like that. Plus maybe a few more boards. Let's see. What was another game you spotted there?
Well, Skyrim was one that I got interested in.
Oh, yeah.
And it seems like it's going to be the
special edition that's coming out for PS4 and Xbox One.
The remaster. And you could debate why a game that came out that recently needs a remaster, but it's a great game. I will give it that. And seeing it on the Switch as a handheld system is pretty encouraging, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, that just means are there going to be more games from PS4 and Xbox One that are going to be making the Switch? Oh, God, Nintendo.
And you might have noticed that we've been using music from Skyrim before, and this is the reason why, because Skyrim's going to be one of the games that the Switch is going to have. And also, of course, the one that we've known about for a while is the new Legend of Zelda game, Breath of the Wild.
And believe me, I'm still looking forward to that, and I'm probably going to get the Switch for that.
I'll probably end up picking it up as well, I'll admit. But let's talk about some of the major publishers, because that's actually interesting, because you've got a surprising number of major publishers that are already saying that they're going to support the Switch. Of course, you've got EA, you've got Capcom, and I've seen Konami, of course. Well, you can debate on how great they are these days.
Exactly. Well, it does say the computer entertainment, so maybe we're going to get virtual console stuff for past Castlevanias again.
Yeah, and I think I've seen Namco Bandai, Ubisoft, and other. So there are some decent companies that have said they're going to support this, and we've already seen
all sorts of them.
We've already seen that. Another game I should mention is that NBA 2K game is going to be on there. So it'll be interesting to see what else EA decides to put onto the Switch.
Yeah. Well, here's hoping for you, Battlefield 1 coming onto it.
Yeah, that would be something to play it on the go there, I'll admit.
Yeah.
I would probably buy that game a second time for that.
There you go. Well,
but anyways, another thing I should mention is that it is going to be a cartridge-based system. They are going to go back to cartridges, which is very interesting for a home console. Of course, the 3DS and the original DS were both cartridge-based, but home console's been another story.
Yeah, I mean, we have last home cartridge-based console unit. I do believe was the N64.
The last really successful one, anyways.
Because Neo Geo doesn't count, but the N64 was the last home console piece that had a full cartridge run. But until then, everyone was at that point they were still testing CDs, and we kind of got stuck on that for about 10, 15 years.
Well, the reason that we did was because the fact that there were limitations at the time for cartridges as far as how much memory they could store. And you could load things up much more quickly with a cartridge. I mean, if you play emulators and you've tried an M64 emulator, you'll notice that right away that things load up a little bit more slowly.
Oh, yeah.
But things have changed in that time. Now we've got cartridges based systems like you've got the SD cards now. I've seen micro SDs that are 256 gigabytes.
Oh yeah,
for sale. And while they are $80 a piece, that's still an impressive feat there. In fact, I picked up one for my 3DS. It was about $20. It was a 64 gig, which is up there on. That's Blu-ray levels. Of,
and that was a micro SD nonetheless for your new 3DS.
Exactly. So now we've got a case where you can get cartridge-based systems that can store the same amount of memory as a Blu-ray system or whatnot, and at the same time they load faster. So it makes a little bit of sense to actually go back. It'll be really interesting to see how that works. Another thing I noticed was there's rumors that it'll probably be region-free. And it's something that I'm looking forward to.
Yep. Oh, that'd be nice.
Yeah, it was an issue I've had with my 3DS. Now, don't get me wrong, I do love my 3DS. But at the same time, there were certain games that never got a release outside of Japan that I wish they had. Games like some of the Mobile Suit Gundam games, for example. Because I'm a little bit of a fan of the Gundam series, so...
Well, I've got to do my own shout out for one of those like that. Theatrhythm Dragon Quest.
Yeah.
Because I've been a huge fan of the Theatrhythm games, and we've had two of them. And then they were like, oh yeah, we got Dragon Quest 1. And it's like, oh good, I'm looking forward to doing Dragon Quest music. Never came out. Never announced at E3. I'm kind of a little disappointed on that.
Yeah, but but it being region free, at the very least, you don't have to buy a separate system to import a game, even if it doesn't come out here normally.
Yep, exactly.
So that's something, at least. What are our thoughts over... Well, Moogle, what's your thoughts?
Well, I mean, like I said, I'm looking forward to seeing what else we got coming for this thing, because, like, we were still talking about more improvements that they are working on, like we were saying with Splatoon. They got extra content coming out. I mean, I've even seen analysis of like the few shots of the Mario Kart game they were showing, where they were showing like King Boo is now a character when he wasn't in the original, as well as there being 2 item slots instead of just 1 to use. But it makes me wonder, are we getting any more Wii U ports of games? Like, I have heard of rumors that are from very credible sources on like them doing Super Mario Maker and even Smash Brothers, which with Smash Brothers it's amazing because there was that whole deal where they announced Bayonetta and they said that, oh yeah, she was like 5th in, or like biggest one in the world and 5th in Europe, and we're like, so where's the one for, or where's the representative we want to get for the U.S.? Where's the one we want to get for these? You know, are we going to get more of those? Are we going to get a big compilation game for it? Also, the fact that since this is looking like we're getting the system is more in line with PS4 and Xbox One, are we finally getting the return of Final Fantasy games numbered? And I gotta say this because I have been yelled at it on my channel. Numbered Final Fantasy games of the main Final Fantasies on the Switch, like Final Fantasy 15 or even the Final Fantasy 7 remake. If those are gonna make it onto there, I mean, you gotta admit that is really intriguing. Do you have any games that you would love to see get on there other than Battlefield 1?
Well, there'd be a lot of games I'd like to see on there. Let's see, since we're going to do... Well, first of all, I'd love to see, since Capcom's going to be on, I'd of course love to see more Monster Hunter games show up on
That would be awesome.
It's something I would personally expect. Since this is of course a Nintendo system, I'd love for them to finally do another Advance Wars game, because the last one was Days of Ruin, and I think that came out in 2008, if I'm not much mistaken.
Yeah.
So it's been a while, and the last two, in fact, the Advance Wars series, in my opinion, was a pretty good series for every single one of those games, as far as I'm concerned. So it would be nice to see those come back.
Yeah.
As far as that. Other things I would be very curious about is what sort of options will this system have in terms of Virtual Console. If it has the entire library of stuff that you can get from a Wii U, that would be very interesting, because it would mean being able to play N64 games on there, which is a big plus. Another thing is, of course, would it be backwards compatible with the 3DS or the original DS? It might not, but of course you never know. It's not looking that good, but at least as far as backwards compatibility is concerned. But again, we're not 100% sure on.
Yes. Now, actually, here's something interesting I just thought of. If they were to do backward compatibility and do N64 Virtual Console games, what if they actually had, since these controllers just kind of click in place, what if they actually made a peripheral for Virtual Console where you can plug it on and it's got your 2 buttons plus the extra 4, so you can actually do good camera control for a Virtual Console game for 3D or for N64 games.
That'd be interesting,
because that would be really nice. Because like, I've got the Wii U and I like using the butt or the stick and everything, but there are times where you try to go up and you're wanting to go right and it decides you zoomed in or something like that. So it would be nice. Anyway, sorry to interrupt you there.
All right. The main questions I would have are, well, the obvious ones first and foremost is how much it's going to cost. And since this is going to have a portable option, what's the battery life on it going to be like?
Yep. Those are the big ones.
There's another question that a lot of people don't really mention that I feel should be mentioned, and that would, of course, be the durability of the system.
Yeah.
Now, the 3DS, the new 3DS, this was not an issue in any way whatsoever, because of the way that they were flip systems with the dual screens on the inside and all the buttons on the inside. The case pretty much protected everything. So these things were extremely durable as far as handhelds go. It was an issue that, it was for me one of the major issues with the Vita. And while I do like the Vita, that and, well, Sony's general mishandling of that has pretty much sealed its fate, unfortunately. But at the same time, because this is going to be this is not going to have any of that protective cover. Now, I'm going to keep an eye on how it functions in that regard, in terms of durability.
Yeah. Now, granted, Nintendo, as far as I've seen, have never had any problems with durability on any of their consoles.
Except, arguably, the Virtual Boy.
Well, we're just going to gloss over that one like that never happened.
Yeah, the one issue I had with that, well, aside from everything that everyone has mentioned before, was that the stand was flimsy and in my case, did indeed break off. And hilariously, it actually improved the console quite considerably.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyways,
And one other thing we forgot to mention, because, like I said, since this is running... or since the graphics on this does seem to run like Xbox One and PS4, I have seen that the Nvidia company, or
I think it is Nvidia.
I think it was Nvidia, came out and said that they were using their Nvidia Tegra, which is or the Tegra processor, or the Tegra chipset, which is, as like the very highest quality. That they could do, or was it? It's like very high quality with like very tiny chips and for mobile units. But like I said,
it'll be interesting to see how it functions.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, I'm looking forward to the Switch, and I'm pretty sure Moogle here is, of course.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I think that pretty much covers all we've got to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have anything you guys want to mention, any thoughts or concerns on your end, feel free to let us know in the comments section. But until we see you guys again, this is Ace
And Moogle.
See you guys later.